up my chips. I'm getting rich. Running up digits, counted up 6 stacks. My money flipping, let's take a trip. Splash. Standing on business, tycoon rich. I'm rich. Look at my chips. Yeah. I'm getting rich. Running up digits, counted up 6. My money flipping, let's take a trip. Splash. Standing on business, tycoon rich.
All right. Great morning. Great morning. Happy Tuesday to everybody that's online. We're going to get right into it. I always like to explain what we're trading, and then we're going to get into how we're trading it, what platforms we're using, and then we're going to talk about risk management today before the market opens. So if you guys have questions, please feel free to put them in the comments section. Thank you all for tuning in, and let's get right into it. Okay, so we have NASDAQ here. So with NASDAQ, that is the index pair that we're actually trading. So it's an index that caters to investors interested in innovative growth-oriented companies like Apple, Microsoft, Amazon, and others, offering a diverse selection of industry leaders, driving economic progress and technological advancements. So these are some of the companies that are comprised within the NASDAQ index. All right. And some of them you guys are already familiar with, but I like to go over this for people that may be new or may not be new, just so you can get a familiarity of what's involved. Okay. So we have Monster, we have Adobe, Microsoft, Ross, right? Paychex, Cintas, Intel, Comcast, Apple. All right. So a lot of well-known names, companies that are comprised within this index, and we trade the performance of this index. Now, a lot of things that kind of go into this as well is what's going on in the economy, the news, and everything like that. So let's go check the news, because remember last week I mentioned that whenever you're trading, before you start trading, you want to make sure you check the news before you start to trade, because you want to know what's happening and how it could affect your trading. All right, so I'm going to navigate over to the news. And again, this website is called forexfactory.com, forexfactory.com, okay? So with forexfactory.com, we can see for today, we're looking at a couple of things. There is a 9:30 a.m. Red folder, because that's what we're focused on. We're focused on the red folders. The other ones aren't as impactful, but the red folders we definitely have to take heed of. Okay, so at 9:30 a.m. we have Federal Chair Powell speaks. Okay, and then at 10 a.m. we had the ISM manufacturing PMI and the JOLTS job openings. All right, and if you want to get details on that, you just click on the folder here, and it tells you kind of like a generalization of what it's talking about. So here we say a number of job openings during a reported month excluded the farming industry. So there'll be an update report on that for the JOLTS job openings. Okay. So now that we have an understanding, if you ever want to kind of just get a full breakdown of what's happening in real time, one of the good resources is Yahoo Finance, that kind of tells you also what's happening in the market as well. Okay, so we're not going to get into all of this detail for today, but this is just to provide the resources so you guys can have it. All right, so we know what we're trading. We know what to kind of look for before we start trading. Now let's talk about how to trade it. Okay. So last week I went into a little detail, just explaining hold on one second, guys. Just explaining how to go about looking at the market when you're on different time frames. Okay. And so with our trading, we look at the 15-minute time frame to kind of tell us our directional bias. Okay. And so if we look here, let me go back to my whiteboard. Okay, you guys can have it. Great morning to everybody that's joined. Great morning, great morning. Okay. So if we look here, we can see that there is something called the 200 EMA. So that's the exponential moving average. All right. So let me just go here and let's Let's make this, we're going to make this one blue so we can make a clear distinction on that. So let's just say that this is our 200 here. Okay. 200 EMA just means that the average movement of the past 200 candles. Okay. And then we'll use, what we can use, let's see what color we'll use. We'll use red so it stands out for the 20 EMA. So 20 EMA is the average 20 candles. So whatever direction the 200 EMA is moving towards, that's our directional bias. So we can clearly see that this is moving up, right? The 200 is moving up. So every single time we get a crossover from the 20, right? So let's say we get this movement here. Okay, every single time we get a crossover, we want to look for possible buy entries. And this is more so off of our signals that we have for the private futures channel, futures/forex channel. But this is what we're looking for. Okay, and I'm going to show some live trades of what I'm in right now and how this is very effective, and actually how to hold those trades. Okay, so we can see here, this is a crossover here. All right, this is a crossover here going to the upside. We want the 20 to cross above the 200 to enter a possible buy. Okay, here's another possible buy. The 200 is crossing above the 200. The 20 is crossing above the 200. Here's another entry for another possible buy. Okay, so when we get these entries here, all right, this puts us in the opportunity to take a substantial amount of profits out of the market if you hold it and if you manage it correctly. Okay. Same thing for a sell, right? So if we're looking at a sell opportunity, okay, the 200 EMA, you can clearly see that it's moving down. And we're not going to go into too much detail because we kind of went over this more explicitly last week because I want to get into the risk management piece, but just for you all to get an overall understanding. So when those crossovers happen, right, we want to take full advantage of those crossovers. Okay. So with the when the EMA 200 EMA is moving down, we want to look for sales. So here's a crossover here for a sell. Okay. And then here's a crossover here for a sale. With trading, as long as you're moving in the right direction of the market, you will be profitable. The reason why I like Forex and futures, regardless if the market is moving up or down, you can still be profitable. Some other instruments, the market has to just continue to move up. Okay, so this puts us in position, whether the market is doing well or not, we can still be profitable. And that's why I always say that trading is recession proof, because of the simple fact that it doesn't matter which direction the market is moving, you can still. Okay, so let's navigate. So now that I've shown that illustration, let's navigate to our chart and let's look at some examples that came in. So we had a couple of signals that came in, and just give me one moment. Let me switch over here. Okay, it should be switched over now. Let's see. Yes, it is. Okay, perfect. All right, so what we're seeing here, okay, we had an AUD US that came in. So let's take a look at what we're looking at here, and these different signals and different indicators and stuff. I explain that more in the academy, but just so you all can get an overall perspective of what's happening. Let's take a look at what we're looking at here. Okay, so AUD USD, we had a signal for a buy. All right. And then I'm going to talk about how we're going to manage this as well. But here, what are we looking at? This white line right here. That white line right there. Let me zoom in. Matter of fact, let me grab my other pen, because I want you guys to really see what's happening here. That is the 20 EMA. That white line is the 20 EMA, guys. Okay. This white line here is a 20 EMA. So what happened? If we zoom in close here, let me see if I can, No, I had to take them off. Okay, so if we zoom in close, we can see, let me grab this pen. We can see right here that there was a crossover, right? So right in this area right here, there was a crossover, and you can see the 20 EMA is what? Moving up. This blue line here, that's our 200. That's our 200. So remember, we're trading in the direction of our 200 EMA. Okay, so let's come out of that, and let's zoom out and see our overall direction of the 200 EMA. Let's look at that really quick. So let me zoom out here, and you guys can see this blue line right here. Just pay attention to this blue line. This blue line is moving what? Up. Okay? We can see the overall direction of this blue line is moving up. So when this crossover happens, when the 20 crossover, the 200, we can see a nice push to the upside. I'm currently still in this trade, and I'm going to talk about why I'm still in this trade. Okay, so I took a little bit of profit, but I'm still in this trade. Okay, so that's the AUD USD. We also got a signal for GBP USD. GBP USD. So with GBP USD, it's moving up as well. Okay, we can clearly see this 200 is moving up. All right, I already took profit on this pair. Okay, now I'm just holding. So here what we see is the 20 EMA, and I know it might be a little noisy down here, so I'm going to try to zoom in so you guys can really see this crossover that happened. Okay, here's our crossover. This white line crossed over this blue line right here. And if you guys have questions, please feel free to ask. Great morning to everybody that's joined. Okay, here's our crossover here. Okay, we get into the buy. I took profit somewhere up here, right? This last pivot right here. I always say aim for the next pivot. Those that are in the academy know exactly what I'm talking about for that. Okay, and then we see GBP USD take a nice push to the upside here. Okay, so it's currently coming down right now, but I'm still holding. And again, I'm going to talk about why I'm still in these trades. Okay, so that was GBP USD. USD CAD. USD CAD is moving in the opposite direction. It's actually moving down. Our EMA is moving down. Our 200 EMA is coming down. Okay, so that means we look for sales. So here's our crossover here. Let's see where we are. Here's our crossover right here. Okay, I'm gonna take the Keltner channel off real quick, guys, so you can see it a little bit more clear. We'll talk about the Keltner next session. Okay, so here is our crossover right here. We have the 20 EMA crossed over the 200 EMA. By the way, this platform is called Trade Locker. You have to have a broker to trade demo on here. Right now, all of our students are traded on a instant funded account right now. So we're trading to make real profits. But if you want to do a demo, just shoot me an email or a DM via Telegram, and I can show you how to do that. Okay, so here we have the crossover here. All right, this is our 20 EMA. This is our entry. Look at this drop here. Okay, so I already took profit here, right? Took profit somewhere here, but now I'm holding the trade. Okay, this is a nice drop for USD CAD. Nice drop. It's starting to get some pushback here, but we'll see. It still has some levels to push up, just because this could be a pullback, and then it can go even lower. Price can go even lower. Okay, but we'll see. I'll explain the gauge on that in a minute. All right, now the next signal we had was gold. So we had a gold buy. All right, so with the gold buy, let's take a look at it. One moment, hold on. So with the gold buy, we had another crossover. So let's go to gold. Let's see. Let me pull that up for you guys. First we had a sell, that was last week, but now we're in a buy. Okay, and I'm going to explain how we can use those signals as entries and exits. All right, look at this beautiful push from gold here. Beautiful push. And I'm still in this trade. Okay, so what we're looking at here, okay, here's our crossover, right? There's our crossover. Actually, it's a little bit lower, about right here. Here's our crossover right here. The 20 EMA, the white line, is crossing over the blue line. Okay, we get into the buy, and what do we see? A beautiful push to the upside. Beautiful push. So I took profit here on my first position, and then my second position is still running. Okay, now how do we know if we should stay in a trade or not? And how do we know how to manage those trades? Okay, those are two very, very important pieces when it comes to, because your entry is only one part of the picture, right? There's multiple steps that you want to make sure you have. So we already understand the entry. Okay, when we're looking for buys, we want it to cross above the 200, preferably the 200 moving in the right direction, right? But we want that crossover above the 200. If we're looking for sales, we want that crossover beneath the 200. This is on the 15-minute chart. Okay, and today, you guys, we go over the forex and futures, but tomorrow's the binary options. All right, so what we are looking at for gold, okay, we've seen the crossover. So how can I gauge this trade here? So let's look at these open trades here and see what we got going on. Okay, we see a lot more green than red, so that's a great thing. All right, but let's walk through each one. USD CAD. So with USD CAD, I put in 6 positions. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, that's what that means. That's six different trades. So all I did was click buy 6 times. I'm at sell 6 times. That's all I did. Okay, at 0. What was the lot size for this one? I think it was 0.03 for USD CAD. Yeah, so 0.03. All right, so I could have taken one position, and I probably would have been really at the same amount, but I probably would have been at the same amount, but with one position. The reason why I took 6 positions is because the instant funded account that we have has a consistency rule. Okay, our consistency rule tells us that your biggest trade should not amount to more than 20% of your profits. Okay, so for example, let's just say you want to get started and you want to start small, and you want to kind of get acclimated with everything. Let's say you start with the $5,000 account. Okay, so what the prop firm is saying is whatever profits you make, you get to keep a certain percentage of those profits. All right, so with the $5,000 account, let's say you made $250. Okay, you made $250. So if you look at that, so our rule says 20% of our largest winning trade can't be can only be out of the 250, our largest trade can only be 20% of that, right? So if we do 250, right, times 20%, we're looking at $50. Okay. So we're looking at $50. So our maximum win should not be should be $50 or less. Okay. Now, if we have 6 positions and each of these positions get to $50, that's a $300 profit. And we still stayed within the parameters of what? Of the 20%. Okay? We still stay within the parameters of the 20%. So we maxed out our opportunity here, but we also were within the rules. Okay? So the first 3 positions, the first 3 trades are taking profit at the most recent pivot. The last 3 are trailing with the trade. Okay, so there's 3 positions open right now for CAD. I'm gonna show you guys. Out of my 6, there's 3 still open. All right, so we can see it in our terminal here. 1, 2, 3. Okay, 3 USD CAD positions here. Okay, so why am I still in this trade? And I'm going to do the math on them in a minute too, so you guys can see it. But why am I still in this trade? Well, if we look at the 20 EMA, I'm not focused on the candles. I'm looking at the 20 EMA. This is my 20. This white line right here, that's my 20. As long as this line, if I'm in a sell, as long as this 20 EMA is beneath the 200 EMA, which is this blue line, then I am staying in the trade. The 20 EMA right now is right here, well beneath this 200 EMA. So I'm staying in the trade. Okay? When that crossover happens, if that 20 EMA crosses back above this 200, then that's when I'll exit the trade. Okay? That's when I'll exit the trade. So that's how you hold your trades. Okay? You take profit at the next immediate swing, right? But then you hold in case if it starts to run like it's trying to do now, right? So I took profit yesterday, but I'm still in that trade today. Okay? So let's look at the next one for AUD USD. Okay, let's look at AUD USD. All right, so with AUD USD, right? So when you're calculating this, each position should be around $5 that you're risking for each one. Okay. So let's look at for the $5,000 example that I just went through. Now with the $100,000 example, that would be more like $50. Okay. That would be more, well, actually probably a little bit more than that, maybe like $150. Okay. For the $100,000 account. So we'll talk about the math on that as well. Now, what's going on here with the AUD USD, the way we measure this out, right? So let's just say if I wanted to, let's just take what price is right now. This is what current price is with these little dotted lines. All right. And great morning to everybody that's joined. If you have questions, please feel free to put them in the comment section. Okay. Please feel free to put them in the comment section. All right. So with AUD USD, we click this little arrow here. This is our calculator. Okay. And then with the calculator here, once we do that, we actually put ourselves in position to simulate where we want our trades to be. Okay, so let's look at this real quick. All right, so we have, let's just say we're doing a buy here. So I will click stop loss. Okay. And let's just say I wanted to enter here. I always train the traders to look at the most recent previous pivot, which is here. Okay, so that will be our stop loss. All right. Now, let's just say, so right here is saying that I'll be risking $5.55 on this position at a 0.03 lot size. Okay, so that would be pretty decent because I can now click buy 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times to get into the trade. Okay, if you want to be a little bit more conservative, then you can do instead of 6, you can put three positions in. It's really up to you. I'm being a little bit more aggressive on my end. Okay, now once you have your 6 positions, and let's just say 6, you're going to set your take profit for 3 of those positions to wherever you have it set. So let's just say that this is take profit here. So how do you know if all 3 are set here? You're going to look down here. Notice how, let's just look at AUD since we're already on this chart here. Here's my AUD trades right here. All right, these are my AUD trades, just showing you how to read the terminal. Okay, these are my AUD trades, right? So notice how this is a stop loss category. This is a take profit category. Okay, each stop loss has a number connected to it. Okay, because that means it's set. A stop loss is set. So all my stop losses are at break even. That's another thing too, guys. Once you hit your take profit, you have to move your other positions to break even so you're not risking the profits that you did make. Okay? Now, take profit is a little different because with the take profit here, there's nothing here. It's blank. Okay, if you had your take profit set, it will be here. Okay, so what we're looking at with the take profit piece, the reason why this is blank, because we don't know how far this is going to run, right? What we're waiting for is that crossover. That tells us when to kind of get out. But in the meantime, we stay in our trade. Okay, so that's what's essentially going on with the AUD USD, and that's how you guys read it. So $5 per position is pretty safe if you're doing 3 to 6 positions. Okay, now I'm going to show something a little bit different, which is relative to my gold trade. So with my gold trade, I wasn't able to put in 6 positions simply because, right, gold is a more aggressive pair. So 6 positions would have taken me out of my risk management parameters because I don't want to risk no more than 150 is your cap, but if you can stay within that $50 to $100 range, then that's good. Okay? Per day. But with gold, because it's so aggressive, I was only able to put in 2 positions. So I took profit here. This one is still running. So what I would do is something called a partial close. So with gold, you would click the X here, right? And then you would, right here it says partial close position. So you click X here, right? And then it'll ask you how many lots you want to take. Now, because I'm at a 0.01 lot right here, I can only take one. Okay. But if I had multiple, let's say I had 0.02 lots, I can take one off. So it'll still keep me in the trade, but basically it will take half of my profits off the table. Okay. So that's what the gold trade will do. Now, I just closed the position. It's all good because I needed to stay under that $50 threshold anyway. It was at like 43 or 45, so we're good. So that's gold. Okay. Now with the others, you probably could be a little bit more flexible with that. Like USDK, you can do a 0.03, so you could take a partial on that. All right. And then we have NAS. So let's look at NAS for today. So we just went over all of the other positions, but let's look at NAS for today. Okay. So remember, our gauge for NAS is looking at the overall direction of the market right now, and it's telling us clearly that the market wants to move up. Okay. Now, yesterday, the directional bias was a buy, still moving up. But what we experienced here was a lot of noise, which sometimes happens with NAS when it's not ready to move yet. Okay. And so I did not take any trades during the market open for NAS because of that. All right. So I did not take any trades because of that during the market open because it was a lot of noise. NAS did not clearly define where it wanted to move. Okay. Now, we were looking specifically at this key level here. And if you don't understand key levels and all of that, it's okay. You just continue to show up. You will get it. All right. Key levels just basically means that there are multiple times at a specific area in the market where the price has sold or bought. Right. So we see here price came up here. It came down. Price came up here. It came down. So you see a repeated pattern that's happening at this level. So we have to acknowledge it and consider it a key level because there's obviously active sellers at this level. So if we're looking to get into a buy, we have to be cognitive of that because this could be a level of resistance for us to move forward and move to the upside. Because we know with the buy, we want price to go up. But if there's resistance here, there's a ceiling here, that will be a challenge because they've already proven in the past that price wants to sell at this level. Okay? So let's look into the trade from yesterday. So the market opened somewhere around here, right? So yeah, these two candles here. And what I wanted to see was a BPC somewhere in past this area here, a BPC. Okay. I wanted to see a BPC past this level right here. We did not get that. And so because that did not happen, I did not take a trade at market open. Now, later on in the day, I did set an alert for price when it crossed this area. Now, during that time, I'll be honest, I was looking, this is why I always recommend if you can, trade from your computer if you can. But if you're not, you just got to make the adjustments. But I was trading from my phone on this instance, and I didn't get a chance to really fully see my BPC. So you'll see that I'm actively in a buy right now for NAS. Okay? I'm actively in a buy right now for NAS. So that's what's going on with that. So today, our analysis and our directional bias is still a buy because the EMA has not changed anything. And to be quite honest, our analysis is still the same. Okay, so if let's go look at it from the 5-minute perspective. Right now, we're on a 15-minute. We use a 15-minute for directional bias, by the way. We use a 15-minute for directional bias. All right, so let me go to the 5-minute. And we can see on the 5-minute that price is trying to move to the downside, right? Got a little crossover there, moving to the downside. But we know we only look for the crossovers on the 15-minute. Okay? So with the 15-minute chart, we're already sitting at the 200. It already kind of broke the 200. Right? It broke the 200. Now it's kind of trying to come back here. But we'll see if it finds support. Now, we could essentially look for a BPC in this area here, because now what we're looking at is what? A pinch. And then if I bring my Keltner channel back out, I'm almost certain that this popped out of the Keltner channel. And I'll explain that one in more detail next week. But let's see. Let me add that real quick. Yeah, so that popped out of the Keltner channel. So this is probably a good entry. We got a nice squeeze close to the 200, popped out of the Keltner. So a BPC past this level will be a good buy. Okay, so if we go to the 5-minute, okay, let's go look at that. And we'll see past this area here will probably be a decent buy. But I will honestly probably want to clear this 200 on the 5-minute. So we'll see. We'll see. Get probably a breakout, pullback, and then continuation. We enter and take it to the next level. Okay? If we get that set up. If we get sales, if we get a sell, that's a different ball game. Okay? Because now what we're looking at here, let me go back to my 15. Based on the 15-minute chart, price is already broken at 200. Okay, when price breaks the 200, we have to acknowledge that. Okay, we have to acknowledge that. So we could get either a BPC for a buy on the up on this level here, or a BPC for a sell down on this level here. Okay, either one would be suffice. Okay, either one would be suffice, but we do have a strong level of support here. So let's just tighten this up here. Okay, well, so we will have to break this level here for BPC to the downside, or we would have to break this level here, a BPC to the upside, to look for possible entry. Okay, now with NAS, I am going to I already have one position in for it, so I'm probably only going to use one position during market open. But if I didn't have this open position, I will probably use two. Now, again, we do have news at 9:45 and at 9:30. We have news at 9:30 and 9:45. So we should actually be a little patient today and wait until the market clears by like 9:50-ish, to be honest. Because we don't know, especially because he's speaking, so that can go one way or the other. It could be a little slow too, also because he's speaking. So we're not that far out from that happening, and we'll pretty much go from there. And great morning to everybody that's joined on the IG side and the YouTube side. Okay, all right, so that's what we're looking at, guys. So that 22,610 level and that 22,504 level, we're looking for our BPC. I've explained what BPC is last week, so if you aren't familiar, just go back and look at that. And you should have some clarification with that. But currently, right now, what we're doing is, right now, majority of the students are funded. And so the goal is to get them up to 100,000 funded. Okay. So if we're doing, let's just say, in this move right here, right? So let's say we're doing 100,000 and we're risking like $500 or something like that, per trade. Okay. So with the 100,000, we're pretty much putting ourselves in position. Let's say we make 15% in a month off of a funded account, and you keep 80% of that, you're probably taking home around $12,000 off of the same trades that we're taking now. But now we're talking about Now we're talking about a higher account. Okay, so this is in motion. This is in motion. This $100,000 account pulling out 12K or so. That's in motion. But right now, all of the students are working on getting their first payout, and then once that happens, that's the goal, is to scale. Okay, that's the goal, is to scale. So that's where we are. It's now 9:25. Okay, we're gonna see what happens with this news. We're gonna see what happens with the other news at 9:45 as well, because we have the 9:30 and the 9:45, and then we're gonna trade accordingly. Okay, we're gonna be patient. What I don't want is for price to kind of start moving here, and then we get into a trade, and then it reverses based on the 9:45 news. So we're gonna have to be patient today and wait after that 9:45 news, because the 9:30 news can move the market direction in one way, and then the 9:45 can move it right back in the opposite direction. So we have to be really cognitive of that and being patient and letting it come to us. Okay, so we have about let's see here. We have about, where's my time? 3 minutes and 30 seconds left until the market opens. And if you guys have questions, feel free to ask. Okay? Please feel free to ask. Questions is how we get to questions. Bring the answers to questions, gives us understanding. And the more understanding we have, the more profitable you'll be. But we'll definitely have to be patient today, just because of those two circumstances. So make that a habit. Go to forexfactory.com every day, okay, before you trade, and make sure that that's what happens. Okay, make sure that you go through everything. Make sure you go through everything. Okay? Let's get it. All right, guys. So we got 2 minutes and 20 seconds. What do you guys think for today? Are we getting in a buy or a sell? What y'all think? If you can, put it in the comment section for me. Are we getting into a buy or a sell? What do you guys think here? A buy or a sell? Put it in the comment section for me. Because right now, we're sitting right here at the 200. It can go either way. Let me know what y'all think. And we're going to get into a buy or a sell. Let me know. Let me know y'all still with me. Okay? Buy or sell. What y'all think? We got 1 minute and 30 seconds left. Let's see if y'all can get y'all answers in before the market opens. Let's see if y'all can get that in before the market opens. Buy or a sell? What y'all think? Let me know. Let me know. All right, here we go. Almost less than a minute. Interesting to see how this plays out, because it's both market open and news happening at the same time. So we might see extreme volatility happening. And Mary says a sell. Okay, Mary. She thinks it's a sell today. That's an interesting perspective. Let's see what happens. But we know that we prepare for either way. It's right today. Let's see. Okay, here we go. 25 seconds, guys. 25 until the market opens. Troy says a buy. We got two different. Troy says a buy, who's going to be right? That's the great thing about trading. That's why you have buyers and sellers. Some people think the market is going to buy. Whoever has the most money moves the market. That's how it works. That's how it works. All right, here we go. Market is open. Market is open. What type of moves are we about to see now? Let's switch over to the 5-minute here. Remember, he is speaking, so we're going to be experiencing a little bit of market open along with the results of his speech. Okay. So we'll see how this plays out for us. This candle is still early on. So this move can go one way or the other. We're sitting at a very pivotal area right now for NAS. Very pivotal area. Okay. 3 minutes and 40 seconds left. So we still got a lot of time on this candle. I'm on a 5-minute chart right now. That's what I'm looking at, the 5-minute chart. Still got a lot of time. A lot of time, guys. Getting a little bit of rejection here. Price is kind of teetering in between this area right here. So we'll see how it plays out here. Once we get closer to an entry level, I will start to measure out how much I want to risk on the trade. It's probably not going to be no more than 15, to be honest, but yeah, that's where we are right now. Everything else is still moving. So let's see what we have. Okay, here we go. Here we go. 2 minutes and 12 seconds. Let's see if the bull's trying to push price up or not. Or if the seller's going to come in and smack the price down. Because NAS has been creating all-time high after all-time high this past week and a half. So at some point, the market has to correct itself. We just don't know when. We just don't know when. Okay, we got 1:35 left on this candle here. Again, patience is key. Look like the bull's trying to find some support here. For me personally, I want to see price past this 200. Even though this is a pivotal, a critical level here. And you know what? Let's just go ahead and extend this here. That's our threshold right there. Yep. So we'll see. If we get a BPC pass here, I'm gonna get into a buy for sure. But the buyer's gonna have to come in with some pressure here in order for that to happen. Right now, we're not getting Daisy says, I don't know. I would lean more towards a sell. Okay, Daisy. It's all good. It is kind of in between right now. So it can go one way or the other. And also, guys, I want to welcome Daisy. Actually joined the academy. So welcome, Daisy, to Blue Chips. We are excited to have you. Definitely excited to have you. All right. So we got 2 sells and 1 buy. Troy says a buy, and Daisy says a sell, and Mary says a sell. So let's see who wins at the end of the day. Let's see. All right, that last candle that just closed gave us a rejection. Now we might be seeing a little bit of not that much movement because, like I said, he's speaking right now. So that's that's a major thing. People just kind of waiting to hear what his final thoughts are about whatever he's talking about. Thank you. I'm excited to be here. Will this video stay up after this session? Yes, absolutely. This video will stay up. So there's 2 different sectors. So we had the binary options piece, and then we have the private futures / forex piece. This is the forex / futures. What we're looking at today. Binary options is tomorrow. Okay, but yes, this stays up for anybody to view and take notes and learn from. Everything else is within the Telegram channels. Okay. Here we go, guys. Let's see what we get for today. Mary says, "Welcome to the family, Daisy." Mary she's a real one. She's one of our excellent students there. So get a lot of tips from Mary. For sure. All right, so here we go. So we moving up now, y'all. Let's see if we approach our key level to the upside. Does the buyers have enough power, or will the sellers reverse the price? Is the question. Will the buyers push through, or will the sellers reverse the price? Patience is key, guys. We're not going to rush it. We're going to let it come to us. It's 9:37. So by 9:50, we should have a clear scope of what we want to do for the day. Because we still have to wait for that 9:45 announcement for news, okay? So we have to be patient. We don't want to get caught up in between this right now. As you can see, we're looking at 2 doji candles, which means that the price is indecisive. So doji candles just basically looks like a cross, right? So not that much body. You'll have, this is what we call a wick at the top. Hold on, let me see if I can get my pen to act right. Let's see. Okay, yeah. So we'll have a wick here, right? Wick at the bottom, and then your body might be like this, small, like this. So this means that the market is indecisive and it doesn't know which way it wants to move. We don't know if we have more buyers playing right now or if we have more sellers playing right now. So that's where we are. That is where we are, guys. Okay. So, still got some time here. Still have some time. And if you guys have questions in the meantime, please feel free to ask. Please feel free to ask. Okay. Let's see here. Not much movement though, y'all. Not too much movement right now. 9:40. About to be 9:40. So let's see if we can get to this level. If we get here by 9:40, a little after 9:45, that would be great, because now we can look for the BPC on the upside. News pushes us through, and now we take it up. But right now, we are stuck right here. And this green bar here, this green zone that I put here, this is the 200 on the 15 minute. So if I go to the 15 minute, we can clearly see that price is just stuck right there. It doesn't know which way it wants to move. Let me see if my chart is moving slow here. Yeah, we're right here at the 200. So price is just kind of stuck right here. Okay. So we just have to be patient. It'll let us know what it wants to do. Price will let us know. We just got to wait. Okay. 9:40. 5 more minutes until the second news. 5 more minutes. And if we look, let me see. See if we can get some insight on the news too. Let's do it. See if there are any links here. No related links for today. Okay, no worries. So we'll just watch and see what happens. But it looks like we're trying to find support. I don't know, Troy. Looks like it might be moving in your favor, big dog. Let's see. Still early though. Still early. 3 minutes and 55 seconds left on this candle. What will happen? What will happen? What are we about to experience here after this news? Time will tell and price will tell very soon. And we're going to see if we can catch a win with it. We're going to see if we can catch a win with it. Let's see. And in order to measure out your trades, guys, remember, you want to make sure you're on the right pair, which is NAS 100. Okay. And you click on this arrow here. So yours might be over to the left or to the right, just depending on how your screen is set up. But you're going to click on this arrow. Okay. And then you're going to check the stop loss box. That's going to bring up a simulated line for you for your stop loss. Okay. Let's see if it did that for me. Yep. Hold on. Let me make sure it's not all the way. Yep. It's down here. So bring it all the way down here. So I will bring it here. Let's just say I put my stop loss here for a buy. And then I want to see how much I'm risking based on that. So let's see here. If I go up to 2 lots, let's see if it refreshes. Sometimes it's a little laggy. Let's go back. Let's take this off and let's do it again. Okay, so 2 lot size. Yeah, so it's a little bit behind right here. But this is how you would measure your lot size. Okay. This is how you would measure it. And you can see right here, this is also a gauge too. It tells you the amount, percentage if you were to get like 10% or risk 10%. That's how much you would lose. Okay, we coming down now. Hold on now. The sellers might have came to play here. I'm looking at a double top now. Double top just means it's an M, right? So we see up. Here's a rejection here, down, up. Here's a rejection here, and then down. So it looks like an M, right? So up, down, up, and then extension on the fourth leg of the M. Ooh, we getting close here. We are getting close here. Let me go to my 1 minute. See if we can get an entry. Find an entry here. Remember, I said if we break past here, then we're looking at that sell. So now it's moving into Mary's and Daisy's favor right now. So let's see if we get that continuation here. And you know what? Let's bring this down here so we can tighten this up even more. So we can solidify that sell. Okay. 9:44. 10 seconds left until the second news. So let's see what happens. Let's see if we actually get some volume from this news here. All right, here we go. Let's see if we catch some volume here. Let's see if we can catch some volume. I know this isn't the most exciting market open here, but this is a part of the process. It's not always fast and volatile. And to be honest, it's actually better that way in some instances. 20 seconds. Here we go, guys. 20 seconds, 20 seconds. 20 seconds on this candle right here. We still got some ways to go. These are our two boundaries. We're just literally in the middle. We're in the middle. We have this boundary here for a buy, and we have this boundary here for a sell. BPC at either of those is a good look. Buy on the upside, sell on the bottom side. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. We shall see what happens, guys. I don't know. I don't think this news really doing too much. Give it about a couple of more minutes, see if it moves. Price is struggling right now. Price is struggling right now. We don't like trading NAS when it's doing this. Remember I always say in the choppy market, consolidation, you want to stay away from it. So if it doesn't show us some definitive movement soon, I'm not trading it. I'm not going to touch it. So 20 seconds. 20 seconds left on this candle right here. We need NAS to make a decision. We're going to get this session about 5 to 7 more minutes. If I don't see nothing, then I'll post it in the channel if I decide to get into a trade later. But we're not going to be on here for too long. When NAS is ready to make a move, it doesn't take long for it to decide. When it's consolidated and choppy like this, you just sitting here. So we'll see if we get some movement in the next couple of minutes. We didn't get any volume from news today. We didn't get any of that. Okay, a little push there. Not bad. Not bad. Still got some ways to go, though. Let's see if we finally waking up a little bit. Let's see if this thing pushes out. Yeah, these candles are kind of weak, y'all. Let's see. Give it about 10 more minutes, guys. Here we go. Here we go. Can't play my music on here like I do on our other sessions. Normally we be listening to some jazz while we wait. Okay, here we go. Waking up a little bit. So we want to see. I want us to get past this level though. Let's see if we can do that. Let's see if we can get past it. $25 seconds left on this candle. See if the buyers can find some momentum here. Not bad, not bad. Back and forth trying to catch us off our game. That's right, Mary. The consolidation was definitely trying to catch us, but we learn and we know we better than that. So we not gonna let that be a deciding factor for us. But I would love for NAS to figure out what it wants to do right now. It is just it's indecisive right now. And it might not be ready to move till later, and that's fine. But we're not gonna force it if it's not ready to move right now. We're not gonna force it if it's not ready to move right now. Here we go. Here we go. Give this thing about 5 more minutes, y'all. 5 more minutes. Then we're going to wrap it up. Hopefully we can catch something before then. Hopefully we can catch something before then. Here we go. $30 seconds, y'all. 30 seconds. Let's see if we can catch what we need for today. Let's see. Uptown Man, you said help. What you need help with, Uptown Man? 17, let me know. I see you on IG. Let me know what you need help with. Now we coming back down. Yeah, I'm not feeling it, y'all. I'm not feeling it. I'll be real with y'all. I'm not feeling it. I'm going to go ahead and set my alert up here if we get a BPC. So what you can do, guys, at 22633.91, you can set an alert right there. If we break past that price and we get a BPC, that's not a bad entry. Okay? And then I'll also set an alert for 22545.66. So if we break past this area, then that's not a bad entry either for a sell. Okay, but both indications are what we're looking at here in regards to the BPCs. Right now, we just kind of stuck in between, and price is just not really figuring out what it wants to do. So 3 more minutes. See if we can make something shake in 3 more minutes. Don't look like we're going to get too much right for today, guys. So I have my alert set. Okay. For those of you all that are already in the academy and in the private channel, I will post a trade in there. And if I do get into a trade for today, if not, then, it is what it is. We're just not going to force nothing, though. Okay. But as of right now, it doesn't look like we're going to get an opportunity from the market open. It was very slow today. It could be due to news. I'm not sure. That's just how the market. That's just how things move. So you got to be able to adjust and pivot, but don't force anything. Okay. We are still getting our signals and our gold mine alert system. So definitely make sure that you guys are locking in with that. We can go take a peek and look at the other trades that are moving right now. It looks like AED USD is probably the one that's moving the best right now. Let's see. Let me go to the 15-minute. Yeah, so AED USD is still trying to push to the upside. GBP USD might be coming down, if I'm not mistaken. It's finding support on a 200, so we'll see if it bounces up and go to a new high, or will it take me out? Either way, I'm at break even, so it doesn't matter. Okay, USD CAD, we know that one was moving down. It started to approach the 200. We'll see if it finds rejection here, finds resistance here, and then push price to the downside. If it crosses over, then hey, you just get on out. Okay? All right, guys. So we're where we need to be. Keep an eye out on NAS. See if NAS wants to do what it needs to do. And if it does, then, we'll be in good shape. But for right now, it's just kind of moving back and forth, and we don't want to get caught up in all of that noise there. We want clear decisions. Clear decisions. That's our goal. So you guys enjoy the rest of your Tuesday. I'm live tomorrow in the Blue Waves channel at 8 a.m. and the private channel at 8:45. Those of you all who are connected and registered for that. Okay, so have a great Tuesday. See you guys tomorrow. Let's lock in. Again, if I see an opportunity, I'll post it in the channel today. All right. Talk to you guys soon.